Hi, Shira. Welcome. How are you today? This evening, morning, afternoon, depends where everybody is.
Well, I'm in Tel Aviv, and it's evening now. It's a very day. And it's great.
Fantastic. Shafo, I think your microphone, we may have some echo in the background. So welcome. And before we start, sorry for all these, technical issues, but it's part of the fun. It always happens. And once we have it, we know that from now on, we're probably going to be better. So Shira, I'm very excited for this interview because you have so much experience and so much richness to share with us all. So before we dive in, I just want to tell everybody we have people from all over the world. We have different countries that I know have signed up for this event. So I just want to tell everybody who you are and where you're coming from, and we'll start right after that. Before that, my name is Lirone Glikman. I'm an ambassador of Startup Grind Israel, and I'm a global business development consultant. And we put that aside and go back to Shira Levy Barkan. So she's the GM of Fiverr Business, responsible for running all the facets of the business at Fiverr Business. She has proven executive management track record for over 15 years, driving marketing and sales growth in fast-moving technology industry. Prior to Fiverr Business, Shira was vice president of marketing and monetization for Playtika, the largest gaming company in the world, for those of you who don't know them. And before that, she worked for 7 years at Microsoft as the CMO at Microsoft's CEE multi-country region, where she led the digital strategy, digital transformation into cloud for 15 markets. And we're going to talk about these different markets you worked in as well in just in a bit. She served as VP Customers and Strategy for McCann Erickson and was recognized by Israeli The Marker Economic Magazine as one of the most promising executive under the age of 40. She has an MBA degree from Northwestern University, Kellogg School of Business, and graduated with honors in law and business administration at the IDC Interdisciplinary Center in Israel. And most important, she lives in Tel Aviv with her 3 girls, husband, and a cat called Simba. Now, we kind of know a lot about you, but there is so much more to learn. So let's dive in. Let's take from your experience. And if you can share how your career path actually brought you to where you are today.
Well, I have a very diverse career. If people followed my bio, they will see that I'm actually a lawyer, but I started within the advertising business. Then I moved to technology. Then I moved to global technology. Then I moved to gaming, and now I'm in the services e-commerce industry. I think that what led me is mainly curiosity and the willing to go out of my comfort zone. So every several years, I look forward at what's out there and what interests me from a career perspective. And I do it as my personal entrepreneurial project to jump into the deep water of something else. I believe it keeps me young. Honestly, I do believe it keeps me young. It's like Botox for the career. It keeps you need to keep this exercise all the time, learning new things, get out of your comfort zone. So every now and then, like every 3 years, I stop and I do my own career strategy of what is the next thing for me that I can grow from and actually keep interested.
And, you mentioned on our prep call that you always seem to learn new things. So you're always growing as you learn new things, which I think is definitely a great tip for everybody here. Now let's move towards the entrepreneurship. Now you had, as part of this, learning and changing and developing, you have a track record of entrepreneur inside big corporations. You did it for Microsoft, Playtika, and now Fiverr Business. So is there, and if so, what is the one main repeatable challenge that you have experienced along the way in bringing new ideas, new innovation inside organizations?
So I think that this is exactly the resemblance between entrepreneur and entrepreneur. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. So you need to invent yourself. You need to be in your uncomfortable zone. You need to question a lot of things. You need to listen to the market, to the company. You need to be able to have a lot of question marks within your life. Being over 40, it's not an easy, and I have a vast career, it's not easy to always have question marks on everything that I do. But this is exactly the things that keeps me open and to my peers, to my management, to my colleagues, to my workers, mainly to my customers, and grow. And I think that for entrepreneur, you always need to communicate your vision and adapt it to the stage of the market or the stage of the company. I think that entrepreneur has another layer of, they don't just have the audience, but they have the management, same as entrepreneurs have the investors, for example. It's the same thing. But so this is.
So you kind of said the differences between intrapreneur, which is inside the organization, and entrepreneur. You said how the similarities, and you also mentioned some of the differences within them. If you have anything else you want to share for people that may not so familiar with the terms.
So intrapreneur is actually someone who's building a growth engine within an organization. So if you have a startup and you're building, I don't know, some SaaS for customers that are small business. And now you want to take this amazing SaaS and build it for an enterprise business. This is a growth engine. You're still not there, but you need someone that will have entrepreneurship skills and entrepreneurship mindset to help you build that within your organization. So it's like a startup within a startup.
And usually, and that also brings us to Fiverr Business, usually the resources are limited, not always the management fully believe in what you do. So moving on to Fiverr and how it supports entrepreneurship internally, because that's, startup inside a startup.
So I think that first of all, you need to make sure that once you're building the engine, the growth engine, that it correlates with the growth of the company. That's the first thing that you need to make sure. And the second thing is you need to make sure that you resonate with the brand, that your brand also resonates with the brand. So are the main limitation. I think what Fiverr is doing, first of all, Fiverr is a very, very unique company, because it's not just believing in entrepreneurship, its product helps entrepreneurs grow.
Yeah.
So we're not just walking the walk, we are also talking the talk and dancing the dance, or whatever you want to call it. I think that Fiverr is very much dedicated to finding where we can bring added value to our customers. We really listen, and those are the places where she decided to build her growth engines. And once she decided to build the growth engines, I have a lot of support from the management. They're very interested. I see them as my advisor team, which is great. I think that it's a unique place to be. And of course, they give me all the support and resources needed within limits, of course. Lirone? Guys, can you hear me?
Was there any? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Do you hear me, or should I?
Yeah, go on.
I was going?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying, if there anything else that we can learn from Fiverr through the pandemic, how it supports entrepreneurship. specific through the last year, alongside with Fiverr Business?
So I think that first of all, from the pandemic, Fiverr always built herself as a tool for remote work. So and the future, and actually building the future of work. The pandemic came at, well, I will not say at the right time, because this is not the right time, but the pandemic actually forced us to start and working from remote, for doing a remote world. What was actually very beneficial if you used Fiverr Business, use Fiverr.
Yeah.
The thing that happened in the pandemic is that Fiverr understood that not only small businesses and entrepreneurs are working remotely, but also bigger businesses will need that kind of skill on how to work remotely. And this is when it decided that they will give it also and monetize it also for bigger businesses. And the pandemic definitely grew our business dramatically, because it laid exactly on a need that was there in the market for any kind of business. I don't think that they're even huge businesses were forced to work.
So, they're saying, do what you do best and outsource the rest. So Fiverr is just the perfect, tool for that. So let's dive more into the Fiverr Business. So you talked about Fiverr Business and how it's definitely catering more the needs of the startups. How can it help teams, startup teams, engage with the right sellers for them and to ensure good communication? Considering the differences in culture or location.
So first of all,
how can you
Fiverr Business allows any kind of business to have anything outsourced, and actually give every employee within the team the ability to be very independent and grow their own initiatives within the organization, even if he has limitation of budgets or helping hands or whatever. So this is the first thing that Fiverr Business actually help. But to help organization find better matching, better sellers within their needs, we developed two key features. The first one is the ability to have a matching service at all times. So once you get in, you have a matching service if you want it on a chat, or if you even want a personal business success manager to everyone who gets into Fiverr Business to help you find the right seller for your project, which I think that it's a very, very unique proposition, because you don't need to go and find, you have sellers in over 500 categories, whatever you want. And also, if you want to work as a team, you also have a collaboration team to work with freelancers as a team as a whole. So if me and you are working together and we're looking for freelancers and we're having a project together, we can communicate wherever we want with the seller and build this project together on the platform.
Hybrid team, like a hybrid team of Fiverr sellers and team members.
Yeah.
And what would you recommend? I mean, you worked in different countries and continents. How would you recommend to deal with people from different cultures and different places around the world?
So I think that the key, first of all, I think that with remote world, the cultural differences are smaller than in face-to-face. It's a bit of the fun, I have to say, because it's very nice to meet, people from all over the world and see how they communicate. But once you communicate, I think that understanding the shared goals, understanding what you want the deliveries to be, and set expectations, I think that it's key. Once you do that, then I think it's great when you can bring the cultural flavor into that, and everyone can interpret it differently. But once you have what you want and how you want it and when you want it sorted out and communicated, I think that it's very easy to go from there.
So the basics should be there, and once it's there, let's party, let's do anything else we want to do. And I think that's very important because I find, some of my colleagues, when they work with people from different cultures, they're not always sure how to, get things done. So this is definitely a great tip to really set what you need in order to work the best way possible. On our prep call, we've talked about the subject of the founder's spirit and how it is being transferred to all employees as the startup grows. And, we have a lot of different entrepreneurs in the audience. Some have smaller startups, some have bigger. And let alone, if you work with sellers, for example, how would you recommend to deliver this founder's spirit to people who are part-time or full-time in your startup?
So I worked in majority of organizations, huge ones, startups, almost 500,000 of employees. And I worked within a small startup of, 60 people. So I think that the founder startup lays, first of all, on curiosity and proactiveness. And the second thing is the tools that the organization gives to the spirits to actually be productive and deliver. So once you get, I think that mainly in startup, people are looking to find people that are similar to them, right? They look for the proactive spirit, they look for the doers, they look for the one that will break walls and, help the business grow. But then when they come into the organization, they have organizational limits because, bureaucracy and procurement and whatever, a lot of, process.
Divide and be down, It's less like, let's heal the world and do it.
I think what's happening, especially during the pandemic, is that people understand that this proactiveness is a key for survival for any kind of business. And we need to give more empowerment to our employees to help us bring us to the next level. You can do it in many ways. I will talk about Fiverr Business because we're exactly a tool for that. So this is a little bit of a sales pitch, but it's not a sales pitch. It's just I want you to understand the state of mind. You can actually give any employee the tools to be productive in any category. So if he's a very good social writer, he can find 5 more freelancers within Fiverr Business that will help him work 5 times faster than now, okay? So if he has this great founder spirit and this proactive spirit, he will love that because he will be able to do better and he will be actually happier. By the way, we saw that in an Oxford research, researching the connection between productivity and happiness, right? So people are having less boundaries within the organization, but controlled within, of course, budgets, NDAs, and limited. So you actually give them tools to fly.
So that's a very, very important tips, and I hope you guys took the notes. Let's continue with Fiverr. All the gender equality and generally, equal opportunities is a very, very hot topic these days all around the world. And I was happy to learn more about how Fiverr platform is a great example for equal opportunities. So if you can share more, and even if you have some numbers and stats, it would be great.
So it's not just about gender, it's diversity is key. What happened in Fiverr is actually the sellers on the platforms are being vetted based on their delivery and their service, nothing else. You actually don't even see them. You don't know if they're man, woman, high, tall, where they're coming from, or, even if they have disabilities, okay? It's not a part of the equation at all. So what you can see is that the sellers on Fiverr are actually 50-50, exactly, 49 men, 50%, 51% women. It change a little bit. So it's perfectly equal, and gender is not an issue. During the pandemic, by the way, we saw growth within more women coming into we saw a lot of people coming into the platform. So we had a huge growth within sellers, because a lot of people were laid off and were looking for potential of earning, and Fiverr is a great tool for that. But we saw 11% more during this year. We have amazing stories on our platform of people with disabilities or with gender that are flourishing on Fiverr, because it really see the professional that you are.
Beautiful. So it really gives, just focus on what you can do, what you can deliver, and how you can deliver it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I wish more companies could, learn from that. I'll just stop and share.
It's important to understand that the platform is designed that way. So it designed with diversity in it.
To enable that. I mean, is that also in terms of algorithm and what I'm being showed?
No, it's just about you're being ranked or being reviewed on your services and your deliverables, and that's it.
That's great. So thank you for that. And I just go back to what I wanted to say, that guys, please feel free to send questions. We're going to have a Q&A part just in a few minutes. So keep up sending those questions. Now let's go to more personal / your experience kind of questions. So let's talk about failure. Nobody likes it, but we all need it in order to grow. So what was your most memorable failure as an entrepreneur, and what would you tell your younger self about ways of dealing with it?
So first of all, building growth engines or startups, you fail on a daily basis. Okay, so you're not succeeding all the time, and you're looking for those small success to grow on them. So I actually fail every day, and this is exactly be in your uncomfortable zone and all the time. But if I remember one thing is that once we brought Azure to Israel with Microsoft, we were 100% sure that our marketing strategy going directly to our beloved enterprise customers will be the easy way to build the Microsoft Cloud. It took us, I think, 3 months to understand that this is not, well, it is the audience, but the ones who are thirsty for this product are actually small businesses and startups. We were very, very smart to try different things at the same time. We were betting on the enterprise strategy, on the B2B marketing strategy, but we also tried like e-commerce and digital and stuff like that. 3 months later, we changed our strategy, our strategy focused. And I remember it so strongly that you're looking this way and you don't see the flowers on the other side. So it's like so I'm always growing areas.
And you mentioned here also strategy. I mean, you said that you were addressing different audiences at the same time. Would that be a strategy that you can recommend entrepreneurs, given if they have enough resources and abilities, or Fiverr Business?
Of course, I think that you always need to have several execution strategy to different kind of audience, especially if your product or your initiative is at the beginning. You don't need a lot of money for that. You can test it with a little bit of Google ads, or you can test it by giving concept to different kind of audiences. But if you're just launching the product and you think that it's, we're building it usually for a specific audience, but you never know, if someone else will like it, or if you didn't, or if you missed something. So I would definitely keep my options open, not like, A to Z, but within the area, I will try several strategies.
Mm-hmm. So that's a very important tip for you there. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also outsource it, guys.
Yeah.
You don't
so and
do it
also
on your own. You also outsource it in small portions.
So Shira, maybe it's also the time to share, even though it was in the chat, that you're actually giving the participants here a very generous gift. If you want to share it, or I share it.
You share it.
I'll share it. So thanks, Shira, and thanks to Fiverr Business. You guys everybody that are here in the chat, you'll receive 20% off using Fiverr Business. You have the link in the chat, and Shachar will add the link again. Here it is now in the link. Just posted it. So everybody that are here on the chat, use it. It's a wonderful, wonderful gift and discount for you to start using this tool. So thanks. And moving on from that, let's talk a bit about the future. So, you mentioned that obviously Fiverr was designed for remote work, and this pandemic actually was right in the sweet spot of what Fiverr can give people and companies, of course. Are there any other plans that you, in order for how Fiverr is planning to design the digital transformation?
So
future?
Definitely Fiverr is designing the transformation for the up market. We're looking for more industries, more companies, more employees that will engage with that. We also see a very, very strong trend. It started before the pandemic, but the pandemic actually excelled it. Of more companies working with freelancers. So we see a trend that companies need to decide what's in their core strategy, where they want employees and they want to keep a close, strong core team, and what do they want to outsource so they will keep themselves more agile with the changes of the market. And boy, this year was, you had to be agile. So yeah, we actually made a research, and we saw, and that was actually at the beginning of the year, so last year, so it was not right now, that that companies, small and SMBs companies, are planning to invest more in outsource agile. But during the pandemic, when we did the same research, we saw that 52% of the small, medium businesses are actually believing on outsource their some of their business. And I think that this is something that we all need to think as professionals. What do I do good? What is my core strength in professional, and what don't I do? And I think that it's even harder for startups, because when you have a small startups or a medium-sized startup, everyone is doing everything, right? But then you're missing the professionalism and the uniqueness of each and every one of the team. So I think that companies need to sit and think, what do they keep inside and what do they outsource? If it's new, if it's something that is in the testing, outsource it, manage it. Make sure that what you want to get from it keeps KPIs, but you don't have to put your own hands into that, because you have better things to do to grow your business.
So you're saying for startups, you should discuss more about the outsourcing option. As you said, it's cost effective. It can really help you grow in an agile way, and it is something that you said 50% of the clients that you've researched actually talked more and we're considering more to use that. So that's definitely where it seems that the world is going to. let's I want to talk more about another topic now. You've done so much, and when I see an accomplished person as yourself, I always think about how do you find your balance? You juggle so many different balls, which is very admirable. And then again, you probably have your tips and tricks. And you shared with us also that yoga is one of them. And you gave a very interesting correlation between yoga and how it helps you. So would love if you could share more with us.
So, well, I love yoga. And it actually, I have a very fast thinking. And I need a place to stop and think. I will not say meditate because I'm not meditating, but yoga helps me to be silent. There are people that say I'm going to take a shower or I'm going to take a nap, or this is the time where I stop. I try to refocus. I try to think what are the best things for me, and I have the best ideas under that. I don't know if any of you are doing yoga, but in yoga it seems very easy and tranquil, but it's not. You're standing in a very, very hard pose for a long time, and you need to keep this uncomfort all the time and find peace with that. So it's very, very resembled to building a business. Like everything is hectic and everything is running, but you need to keep your focus and to be very, very quiet and resilient in that, but also contain the discomfort. So I find it very, very correlating with, and give me actually the tools how to, refocus and not spread all over the, everything that I need to do.
So I loved how you say it's like feeling really uncomfortable, but still you need to stay in the pose, stay in the company, keep hustling, even though.
Yeah.
And last but not least, before we move to our audience's questions, it's the banal but yet important question of what drives you to wake up in the morning and give it all you can.
Well, I think that curiosity and interest and creation. I think that today the entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurs are the creation of tomorrow in every different field. I'm very excited to be able to be a part of this amazing movement to change the future of work. I have 3 girls, and I really, really hope that they will have easier work-life balance than when I was young. I wish I had, something like Fiverr, or even the ability to outsource everything that you can do, and just all the hassle and everything. So I'm really that. I can say that being a part of the company that really have benefit to the world is exciting, because I worked in companies that they were very, very successful, but the meaning was not big enough. I know that I need to be really connected to the value of the organization, and I'm very happy. And also I'm working with very talented people, and I'm very productive. So I'm doing a lot more than I thought that I could do. By working with Fiverr and on Fiverr and with the people of Fiverr.
Amazing. And I also have to share that you said that how important it is to work for a company that changes the world and really give opportunities to other people. Back a decade ago when I started my business, I was in an anonymous person from Israel, and I started doing a lot of global lectures and speaking and articles. And when I found Fiverr, I thought that I found the best invention on earth. For me, it was the ability to reach other people, to convey my messages in other languages, to really use this tool to build my dream. So I think that's what you're doing there. You help people to build their dream companies and, in startups and anything they want. And that's a great, great thing. So I want to thank you for that.
We're giving professional superpowers.
Yeah, exactly. So I can definitely recommend you guys. I want to move to the questions, but before that, again, I'm reminding you, you have only the people that are here have a special offer for Startup Grinds people. So you get free annual subscription for Fiverr Business, discounts on purchases, and discounts on Fiverr Learn courses and more. So use the link. And let's move to the audience's questions. So Lirone Gelb asks, can I ask in Fiverr not to get developers from one region or preferred one region over another?
Of course. First of all, there is the sorting option. So you can choose from what country. You can also choose what language does they understand. So they are, for example, people that are Americans that are sitting in, I don't know, Denmark. So you can sort the location, you can sort the language, you can sort the skill, for example, on what platform does it work. And also, if you're doing it through Fiverr Business, you can also ask your CSM or the matching chat people that did work with industries like myself or people that have a lot of experience, or so there's a lot of sorting that you can do on our sellers.
Mm-hmm. And as you said, in Fiverr Business, then you have a customer service
that can help you in everything that you want.
Yeah, so that's as easy as it can get. Thanks, and this is we're moving to Dragos Skante. I hope I said it right. He asks, how do you manage the stakeholders in a company in order to make sure the project succeeds?
How do I manage the stakeholders? So again, first of all, we need to make sure that we have the same vision, the same KPIs, and the same expectations. We are a data-driven company, so everything is measured, and you can see very, very fast if things are catching up or not. So we have the key KPIs coming from the strategy, clear KPIs, clear scorecard of where do we think that we should improve, and the product needs to answer that. And then we see if it's working or not working. If it's working, we're checking why, because maybe something that we can grow faster or bring to another audience or whatever. If it's not working, we also asking why, but we're also asking what we can do to improve that. So it's a lot of questioning, a lot of question marks, but very, very clear targets and what every product needs to bring within the targets.
Thank you. Nir Dahan asked the millions of dollars question. He asked how a company branded as intermediary service ranging from $5 causing consumers to pay for services in hundreds or thousands of dollars.
That's $1 million question. A lot of hard work, and people that are very, very, very determined and not afraid to fail, not afraid to test, and not afraid to give people to fail or test. So I think one of the things that I feel very comfortable in Fiverr, that even if I come to the management and I didn't succeed, I know that they will be focused on how to help me and what can we learn from that, and not, be frustrated with that and ask me like, what are the targets? What are the targets? It's very, very clear. So I think that that's the magic.
So you got it. Yeah. Moving to Jeff Dixon, who asks, how would you recommend scaling a headshot photography business? What would you consider to be the way to establish strategic competitive advantage in marketing as a headshot photography business?
Well, I don't know this market, so we need to research it, but I would definitely try to do a little bit of research, like what are the best agencies for headshots in the world or in your area. how are they pricing themselves, and what is their unique selling proposition. Like some of them are for professional headshots, some of them are for environment, some of them are for families. I don't know. You need to find your unique selling proposition based on the market that you have, and then find what is your own added value to the customers, what you can say that other can't. And I know that it's very, very hard, but you must find it because you're there for a reason, okay? And you know what ticks you. Once you find that, then I would try to find different kind of messaging and marketing strategies to check if this unique selling proposition is actually relevant to the market that you are. Then, you know, test and error, and then find like what kind of message is relevant to what kind of audience, and move from that. Explore, explore, explore.
Jess, I hope you got it. Robert asks, what are Fiverr's biggest challenges currently, and how do you plan to overcome them?
Wow, there's so many of them. I can say what the challenges of Fiverr Business, if it's okay. So we're growing pretty nice because we have like a demand from the market. But our challenge is to make is really awareness and market education to make bigger companies understand that Fiverr is the best tool for their employees, and how to balance the control on the expense for freelancers versus, you know, the deliverables that they get from Fiverr Business. So I think that this is the main challenge. What are the right messaging? What is the right storytelling for that? What kind of audiences? What kind of companies?
Okay. Thanks. Moving on to our next question, and guys, we have a few more minutes and time for maybe one or two more questions, so you're welcome to write them down. The next question is Nabila Nurinisa. Again, I hope I said it right. She said that she just joined Fiverr a few days ago. Congratulations. Is there any tips and tricks to help boost my art business for more people to know on the Fiverr platform?
Well, that's a huge question. First of all, congratulations. I think that make sure that your profile is appealing. Make sure, because it's a marketplace, it's actually up to you. It's the same as business. You need to make sure that your pricing is right. You make sure that your portfolio is right. You make sure that your offering, your bundling is right. By the way, I would say there's a lot of content for sellers in Fiverr and Fiverr Learn on how to boost your business. There's a lot of free. So definitely go there and deep dive and take those tips and tricks, because there's a lot of them. But I think that your pricing, your unique selling proposition, your SEO, you know, how you define yourself is super critical for the beginning.
Thank you. Moving on to Jane Harndon. She said that beyond your automated matching services, did I hear you say there are now customer-facing persons at Fiverr whose role is to personally curate, recommend the best freelancers to support your business plan?
So they're not curating them because there is so in Fiverr Business, we have a curated supply, which means we have a more quality, top 5% of Fiverr sellers are within Fiverr Business. It's like a premium offering of our catalog. We have customer success managers that help you with your needs. So you actually, like every business have a different needs, so they actually match you. You don't have to waste time and, you know, talk to them. You can do it via chat, and they will offer you the right sellers for you. You also have a lot of ways to sort and find whoever you want. So some people like to do them on their own, But if you want someone to help you, no problem.
And last but not least, from Mike Sinigaglia, how can I minimize my financial risk when outsourcing to a Fiverr freelancer when it will be near impossible for any resource if a product or service might not be delivered as expected as well? As vetting and rating are great, but unless there is a concrete risk, the risk is quite high. The risk is quite high. So how would you recommend to minimize the risk of getting Fiverr sellers?
So first of all, at the beginning, before you understand how to sort and before you create your own list of freelancers that you trust them, I would definitely use CSM or the matching chat to ask, because those sellers are usually very, very recommended, and they have track records, and so this is the first thing if you're like a little bit afraid and you still don't trust the platform at the beginning. The second thing that you can do, we have within Fiverr different kind of rating of sellers. Some of them are vetted, which is Fiverr Pro. They're a little bit more expensive, but those are actually sellers that were hand vetted by the Fiverr team. So this is also a great way to start. What we see usually is that people are starting with the Pro or with the matching services, and once they feel comfortable with the platform, they actually do it themselves and really, really enjoy that.
Thank you so much, Shira Levy Barkan, for your great insights, for sharing your experience, sharing the tips, and a lot of valuable information for the entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs out there. I really want to thank you for sharing that and for your time.
Guys, I'm so honored to be a part of this. I want to thank you, Shachar and Lirone, and all the participants that spend the time and listen to me. And I hope that the future of work will be brighter for everyone.